Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. Today we're bringing you a intra-district competition as the Shawnee Mission West Vikings take on the Shawnee Mission Northwest Cougars. Let's go ahead and meet our competitors. First from West.
My name is Jenny. I'm a senior, and if I could have anyone narrate my life, I would pick Daniel Radcliffe.
My name is Hannah. I'm a senior, and if I could have anyone narrate my life, I would pick Alan Rickman.
My name's Allie. I'm a senior, and if one person narrated my life, it would be Morgan Freeman.
I'm Dutchin. I'm a senior, and if anyone narrated my life, it would be Benedict Cumberbatch.
I'm Austin. I'm a sophomore, and if I could have anyone narrate my life, it would be Barack Obama.
And our competitors from Northwest.
Hi, I'm Avery. I'm a senior, and James Earl Jones for narrator.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm a junior, and I'm going to say William Faulkner.
My name is Alex. I'm a senior. I'd probably choose Benedict Cumberbatch as well.
I'm Ben. I'm a senior, and I'd have to go with Morgan Freeman.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a senior, and I'd probably choose Steve Irwin.
And I'm John Bartell, and I'm your host, and I probably would have my mom do my story. Yeah, she's wonderful. Hi, Mom. All right. Here on Categories, in the first round, we will take turns answering questions. If a team answers correctly, they will earn a point. If they answer incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that question. We did a coin toss before we started taping. It was won by Shawnee Mission West, so Vikings. Here's the first category. It is culinary arts. Several French varieties are called boudin. Russians love kielbasa, Cajuns favor andouille, and in Mexico, you can order chorizo. What are all are kinds of what kind of meat dish, also known as bratwurst in Germany? Allie?
Sausage.
It is sausage. Cougars, science is your category. Paleontology is the branch of science dealing with study of fossils. What branch of science is concerned with the interrelationship of organisms with their environment? Vikings, chance to steal this science category. Paleontology is the branch of science dealing with study of fossils. But what branch of science is concerned with the interrelationship of organisms and their environment? Allie?
Ecology.
It is ecology. Vikings, you do get the next question. It is literature. Name the author who also was the main character of these books. The First 4 Years, The Long Winter, The Happy... Jenny?
Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Laura Ingalls Wilder. Northwest, back to you with a current events question. After joking about this candidate's grandson, MSNBC host Melissa Harris Perry apologized to which former presidential candidate? Alex?
Mitt Romney.
It is Mitt Romney. Back to you, Vikings, with Latin. What does the Latin root on each of these three words mean? The three words are convert, invert, and subvert. Hannah?
Turn.
Turn. Very good. Cougars, law is your category. A 1973 Supreme Court decision ruled that women have the constitutional right to an abortion for at least the first 6 months of pregnancy. What is the name of the controversial landmark case? Avery?
Roe versus Wade.
Roe versus Wade. Back to you, Vikings, with music. The marching song of George Washington's army in the Revolutionary War was written by a British army surgeon in 1755 while watching the awkward drilling of the American militia who had volunteered for the French and Indian War. The surgeon's name was Dr. Richard Shuckburgh. What was the song? Austin?
Yankee Doodle.
It is Yankee Doodle. Egyptology, Cougars. Among the objects held sacred by the ancient Egyptians was a winged black beetle. What was it called? Alex?
A scarab.
A scarab, very good. West, back to you. Sports. In skiing terminology, this is a method of checking checking descent at lower speeds by spreading the ski tails and bringing the points together. It is usually the first maneuver of a beginning skier. Is taught. What is it called? Jenny.
Pizza.
Cannot accept pizza. I cannot accept pizza. Cougars, you have a chance to steal this sports category in skiing terminology. This is a method of checking descent at lower speeds by spreading the ski tails and bringing the points together. It is usually the first maneuver a beginning skier is taught. What is it called? Avery?
Breaking.
It is not breaking. It is called the snowplow or wedge. I have to go with the first answer. Sorry, Jenny. I just go by what the question says. Cougars, you do get the next question. It is math. The arms of a lever are 16 and 24 feet, respectively. What weights differing by 20 pounds will balance the lever? Vikings, chance to steal this math category. The arms of a lever are 16 and 24 feet, respectively. At what weights, differing by 20 pounds, will balance the lever? Detchen?
10 and 30.
It is not 10 and 30. It's 40 and 60. 40 and 60. Vikings, you do get the next question. It is states. Its flower is the yucca. Its gem is turquoise, and it entered the Union on January 6, 1912. Its nickname is the Land of Enchantment. Name the state. Austin?
Indiana.
It is not Indiana. Cougars, chance to steal this state's category. Its flower is the yucca. Its gem is the turquoise, and it entered the Union on January 6, 1912. Its nickname is the Land of Enchantment. Name the state. Matt?
Arizona.
It's not Arizona. It's New Mexico. New Mexico. Cougars, U.S. presidents is your category. Only 2 presidents were survived by their fathers. Warren G. Harding was one. Who was the other? West, chance to steal this U.S. president's category. Only 2 presidents were survived by their fathers. Warren G. Harding was one. Who was the other? Allie?
John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy, very good. World history for both teams. Oh, excuse me, back to you, West, for this one. I almost said both teams there. Here we go, West, world history. The 7 Years' War saw Prussia and Austria fighting over control of the region that later became what country? Austin?
Czechoslovakia.
It is not Czechoslovakia. Cougars, chance to steal this world history category. The 7 Years' War saw Prussia and Austria fighting over control of the region that later became what country? Avery?
Poland.
It is not Poland. We were looking for Germany. Northwest, you do get the next question. It is horticulture. This tree is valuable to man because it provides shelter, soil anchorage, and scenic beauty. Also fine wood used for furniture and certain ship fittings, thatch for roofs, and fiber for brooms, mats, and rope. Sap from which the vinegar and yeast may be made, raw materials for manufacture of candles, soap, perfume, glycerin. Also food for man and beast in the meat, milk, and oil of its fruit. What is this tree? Avery?
Pear tree.
It is not the pear tree. West, same question, long description. This tree is valuable to man because it provides shelter, soil anchorage, and scenic beauty. Also fine wood used for furniture and certain ship fittings, thatch for roofs and fiber for brooms, mats, and rope. Sap from which vinegar and yeast are made. Raw materials for the manufacture of candles, soap, perfume, and glycerin. Also food for man and beast in the meat, milk, and oil of its fruit. What is this tree? Allie?
Palm tree.
It is not the palm tree. It's the coconut tree. Coconut tree. Vikings, you do get the next question. It is current events. A massive winter storm dropped temperatures to record levels in most of the United States recently, and it was driven by the weather effect known as a polar what? Hannah?
Vortex.
Vortex. Cougars, back to you. Name it is the category. Its 2001 IPO sold like hotcakes. A pun financial writers could not resist for the 60-year-old chain, which opened its first store in New York City in 1996. What is its now international company with What is the now international company with an alliterative name that's achieved cult status among devotees of donuts, although donut critic Charles Beale dismisses them? Avery.
Dunkin' Donuts.
It's not Dunkin' Donuts. West, chance to steal this name it category. Its 2001 IPO sold like hotcakes, a pun a financial writer could not resist for this 60-year-old chain, which opened its first store in New York City in 1996. What is this now international company with an alliterative name that's achieved cult status among devotees of donuts, although donut critic Charles Beale dismisses them as tasting like plastic? Austin.
Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. Austin, how soon did you know that? Did you make me read that whole question again? Just because? That's all right. All right, back to you, West, with a law question. It's a law school periodical. It's what students do before a test, and it's a 6-letter word, a general survey of past events or a subject. Time on that. Cougars, this is a law question. It's the name of a law school periodical, and it's also what students do before a test. Name this a 6-letter word, a general survey of past events or of a subject. Alex?
Review.
Review. Back to you, Cougars, with a language question. Another long one, so please pay attention. Translate this verbose prose into a familiar quotation. So I'm going to give you a long one, narrow it down. One who habitually seeks repose in the arms of Morpheus at an hour somewhat before that is usually considered, and who equally bids farewell to said repose in an equally prompt manner, is reputed to acquire an excellent bodily condition, not to mention an accumulation of mammon and a substantial store of sapience. Alex?
Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Very good. Thank you. Back to you, West, with authors. Isabel Allende, Pablo Neruda were from Chile. What country were the authors Laura Esquivel and Octavio Paz? Hannah?
Argentina.
It is not Argentina. Cougars, chance to steal this author's question. Isabel Allende and Pablo Neruda were from Chile. From what country were authors Laura Esquivel and Octavio Paz? Avery?
Peru.
It is not Peru. It is Mexico. Mexico. Cougars, art is the next category. Some of the most incisive artistic portrayals of horrors and the brutality of war are the work of which Spanish artist who lived from 1746 to 1828? Patrick?
Pablo Picasso.
It is not Picasso. Vikings, chance to steal this art category. Some of the most incisive artistic portrayals of horrors and brutalities of war are the works of which Spanish artist who lived from 1746 to 1828? Goya. We're looking for Goya as the answer on that one. That siren does denote the end of our first half, and Shawnee Mission West has a slight lead of 8 to Shawnee Mission Northwest 5. At this time in our program, we will go to a campus update in which we will talk to a student from each school, and they will give us what is going in and on and around their entire building. So looks like from the Vikings we have Jenny. Jenny, what's happening with the West Vikings?
Well, the West Theater Department musical, The Wizard of Oz, is set to show January 30th, 31st, and February 1st. And our Spanish National Honor Society is sponsoring a bracelet sale to which all profits go to fund education for kids in third world countries.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. How'd you guys come up with that?
We did a project similar to it last year, so we're sort of continuing it.
Oh, very good, very good. And with the Cougars, looks like Avery, you're giving us the update for Shawnee Mission Northwest.
Yes, our bowling teams, both boys and girls, had mid-tier placements at the Bishop Carroll Invitational in Wichita, and that's kind of our preseason warm-up for our varsity teams. And then the swimming team is going swimmingly. Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
The boys basketball beat Leavenworth on Friday night, and they're having a good year so far, so that's good. And girls basketball is doing quite well too.
Outstanding. Good stuff going on at both schools. Here in our second half, it is our lightning round in which a question is placed on the floor for either team to answer. If a team does ring in and respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that point. So here we go, both teams. The category is opera. What was the nationality of Aida, the title heroine of Verdi's opera? Jenny?
Egyptian?
I'm sorry, I cannot accept Egyptian. Cougars, you have a chance to steal this opera category. What was the nationality of Aida, the title heroine of Verdi's opera? She's Ethiopian. Both teams, biology. Biologist Margie Prophet theorized that this malady of expectant mothers evolved to protect the baby from toxins. What malady am I referring to? Avery?
PPT.
I cannot accept that. Vikings, chance to steal this biology category. Biologist Margie Prophet theorized that this malady of expectant mothers evolved to protect the baby from toxins. Name that malady. Jenny?
Morning sickness?
It is morning sickness. Very good. Chemistry for both teams. The atmosphere contains about 1% of what element with the atomic number of 18? Detchen.
Oxygen.
It is not oxygen. Cougars, chance to steal this chemistry question. The atmosphere contains about 1% of what element with the atomic number of 18? Avery.
Phosphorus.
It is not phosphorus. It's argon or argon. Sports history for both teams. Jimmy Connors won the U.S. Open on 3 different types of surfaces. Name them. Avery.
Grass, clay, and hard court.
And hard court. Very good. Both teams, geography is the category. Long Island's western end is taken up by what 2 boroughs? Hannah?
Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Cannot accept Manhattan and Brooklyn. Cougars, chance to steal this geography category. Long Island's western end is taken up by what 2 boroughs? Avery.
Manhattan and Queens.
It's not Manhattan and Queens. It's Brooklyn and Queens. Brooklyn and Queens. So if you can combine those, leave out the Manhattan, you'll be all right. All right, both teams. Math is the question. What is the length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle whose legs measure 12 inches and 16 inches? Avery.
20 inches.
20 inches. U.S. history for both teams. In 1981 presidential assassination attempt, a bullet struck James Brady in the head. What was Mr. Brady's position in the Reagan administration? Austin?
Secretary of State.
I'm sorry, he was not Secretary of State. Northwest, chance to steal this U.S. history question. In 1981 presidential assassination attempt, a bullet struck James Brady in the head. What was Mr. Brady's position in the Reagan administration? Avery?
Secretary of Defense.
He was not Secretary of Defense. He was the press secretary. Press secretary. Geography for both teams. The density of this watery suspension exceeds that of the human body, so you cannot sink in it. You can, however, lose your balance. Avery.
The Dead Sea.
I'm sorry, cannot accept the Dead Sea. West, chance to steal this geography question. The density of this watery suspension exceeds that of the human body, so you cannot sink in it. You can, however, lose your balance, and you can still drown. Widely the source of its fierce reputation. What is this soupy mixture incorrectly thought to exist solely in the desert? Austin?
Oasis.
It is not oasis. It's quicksand. Quicksand. Economics for both teams. This term means the face value of a note, security, or other instrument. A stock or bond is said to sell at this value or above or below it, depends on its sales price in relation to the nominal value stated upon the instrument itself. What is it? Par. We're talking par. Language for both teams. In Greek, this animal is called Lycos. In Russian, Volk. In Spanish, El Lobo. What is it? Hannah?
Wolf.
Wolf. Very good. Literature for both teams. The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway takes its title from the book of Ecclesiastes, which 1989 John Grisham novel also draws its title from Ecclesiastes. A Time to Kill. A Time to Kill. Science is the next category. Beginning with the tiniest entity, arrange these objects in order of size, from smallest to largest. Here they are. Water molecule, cell, chromosome, oxygen atom. Avery.
Water molecule, oxygen atom, chromosome, and cell.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Dutchin.
Oxygen atom, water molecule, chromosome, cell.
That's the correct order. Greek for both teams. When Archimedes found the principle of measuring the volume of an irregular solid, he shouted, "Eureka!" Where was he when he made this discovery? Austin?
Bathtub.
Bathtub. Sports for both teams. What is the Scottish name for the Wood Golf Club marked number 2? It's called the Brassy. Famous names for both teams. Born in El Paso in 1880, he became the cowboy king of silent movies. He made his first film in 1910. Because of his horsemanship and his easygoing manner, he quickly became a star. One of his most popular movies was Riders of the Purple Sage. Name him. It's Tom Mix. Tom Mix. Next category for both teams is music. Name the composer of Symphony No. 1, dubbed the 10th Symphony by German conductor Hans von Bülow, indicated its worth in succession to the 9 of Beethoven. Hannah?
Bach.
It is not Bach. Cougars, chance to steal this music category. Name the composer of Symphony No. 1, dubbed the 10th Symphony by German conductor Hans von Bülow, indicating its worth in succession to the 9 of Beethoven. Patrick.
Mozart.
It is not Mozart, it's Brahms. Television for both teams. Good night, Miss Calabash, wherever you are, was the perennial exit for what longtime entertainer often referred to as the schnoz. It's Jimmy Durante. Jimmy Durante. World history for both teams. On a plateau in Central Asia, Marco Polo noted which type of wild animal, later named for him? Jenny?
A horse.
It is not a horse. Cougars, chance to steal this world history question. On a plateau in Central Asia, Marco Polo noted a wild type of which animal, later named for him? It is sheep. Sheep. Poetry for both teams. A shipwrecked sailor finally returns home only to find his wife married to another man. This event occurs in a poem by Tennyson. What was the unfortunate sailor's name? Austin?
Robert Golding.
It is not Robert Golding. Cougars, chance to steal this poetry question. A shipwrecked sailor finally returns home only to find his wife married to another man. This event occurs in a poem by Tennyson. What is the unfortunate sailor's name? Avery?
Odysseus.
It is not Odysseus. It's Enoch Arden. Enoch Arden. U.S. government for both teams. In government, NOAA, or NOAA, does not directly refer to the man with the ark. However, one of the agencies under the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration might have been consulted by the biblical animal collector for a forecast on upcoming rains. Name the agency that has been in the federal government since 1870. Avery.
AMS.
It is not AMS. Vikings chance to steal this U.S. government question. In government, NOAA does not directly refer to the man with the ark. However, one of the agencies under the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration might have been consulted by that biblical animal collector for a forecast on the upcoming rains. Name that agency that has been in the federal government since 1870. Allie.
The National Weather Agency.
Sorry, I cannot accept that. It's the National Weather Service. Geography for both teams. Its source is in Guinea, only about 150 miles from the sea, but then it flows off to the northwest through Mali and then southeast through the country by the same name in Nigeria before flowing into the Gulf of Guinea. It's the third longest river in Africa. Name this river, believed to be named by the Greeks for the word for black. Avery.
Congo.
It is not the Congo. Vikings, you have a chance to steal this geography question. Its source is in Guinea, only 150 miles from the sea, but then it flows off to the northeast through Mali, then southeast through the country of the same name and Nigeria before flowing into the Gulf of Guinea. It's the third longest river in Africa. Name this river, believed to have been named by the Greeks from the word for black. Hannah?
Togo.
That's not. It's the Niger River. Niger River. Current events for both teams. German Chancellor Angela Merkel fractured her pelvis while participating in what sport? Austin?
Tennis.
It is not tennis. Cougars, chance to steal this current events question. German Chancellor Angela Merkel fractured her pelvis while participating in what sport? She was skiing. Apparently not doing the pizza. Both teams, here we go. Math is the next category. What is the interest on $800 at 6% annual interest for 9 months? $36. U.S. presidents is the next category. What was President Wilson's first name? Austin.
Woodrow.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Cougars, chance to steal. This will be the last question. What was President Wilson's first name? It was Thomas. Woodrow was his middle name. Trick question. Sorry about that. That siren does denote the end of our game, though, and we have a final score of Shawnee Mission West 12, Shawnee Mission Northwest 7. Please join us again next time here on Categories as we promise to bring you the best and brightest minds of high school students all throughout Johnson County.